And fellas, talking about being entertained, boy, these conservatives are upset. They're upset because there's change, and they don't like change. They want change for everybody else, but one change that I guess I didn't see coming, or they didn't see coming, and they wanted to go back, is Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel's new logo continues to escalate, including from conservatives, now taking social media by storm to slam the decision, some calling the change, quote, woke. Others say, quote, this is how you destroy a brand. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris joining us. And man, when you go on social media, the responses are they're fiery. The company says the logo change is part of a new campaign to enhance aesthetics. Tell us more about their plan and also about this growing backlash.
So the new logo was unveiled on Tuesday as part of Cracker Barrel's All the More campaign, which includes a new menu, also a new restaurant look. The campaign itself really causing some uproar, starting with the most noticeable change so far, the logo. For 48 years, Cracker Barrel had the same logo, a man resting on a barrel with the restaurant's name beside him. The new logo, which is text only, now prompting massive backlash, including from conservatives. Don Jr. writing on X, what's wrong with Cracker Barrel? Also, country singer John Rich, will you go to Cracker Barrel now that it's going woke? This could be a Bud Light moment in the making. But the company's CEO says the feedback so far has been positive.
I think what's important is that we are listening to our guests. We're doing this all for them. What they've said is they love the new seating. We're adding in booths, making the chairs more comfortable, putting in new lighting, brightening up the paint color, all the things that make Cracker Barrel, the vintage decor, it's still there and it's working. The results affirm that we're headed in the right direction.
Former Ohio State Senator Nina Turner weighing in on X as well, writing, people can't afford housing and groceries, so naturally, conservatives are mad about the new logo.
Yeah, Matt, Professor, I'm coming back to you. I want you to answer what Marcus wrote here. And basically, the $10, I think you're right. Marcus wrote, this is another step toward dictatorship. What he's doing is unlawful, and Democrats are too pussy to do anything about it.
Well, that's why in more than a couple of my last videos I made, I said you can't vote just straight Democrat because they're just as bad as Republicans. They're too worried about political ramifications to fight. So, I mean, it is a march toward dictatorship. I mean, everything this jackass is doing is the same shit Hitler did. And the fact that you have people on fixed news who don't want to say this shit, and people in the right wing media who don't want to say this shit, it shows that they never gave a fuck about governance. They want to rule, and that's all it's ever been about. Especially with Republicans. I mean, hell, they've been trying to elect people who want to be dictators since Reagan.
Yeah.
And last week, man, Professor, I said that history is repeating itself, and I said he's doing the exact same thing that Hitler did. First, it starts with banning certain books, and then it's banning. It's the same.
It actually starts with this assassination attempt.
Oh,
Hitler did the same shit.
Yeah.
A public assassination attempt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's sad because people aren't looking at that. They only looking at the now. They're not looking at the past.
That's part of the reason why they're trying to erase history.
Yeah,
because they don't want.
They're trying to erase history. There, conspiracy brother, and they're upset. And that's why I think I get so uppy when people try to erase our history. But like Joy say, just because they're removing the man and a barrel, conservatives are upset. Your thoughts on the Cracker Barrel fiasco?
That shit funny. I never thought white folks would be so accepting of the word cracker. They are upset about a cracker and a barrel. That's just outrageous to me. That. But again,
yeah.
I ain't gonna say it's race baiting because it could be on their end is that they race baiting, making white folks angry about those our brown skin brethren upset about something just to get them riled up over nothing because the shit ain't just a fucking restaurant. Didn't they say something about Bud Light changing their shit up and people being upset and Bud Light still selling? So at the end of the day, people still gonna go. People still gonna eat.
They had the LBGT person, I think, doing a commercial.
Yeah, no, actually, someone did it on TikTok.
It didn't do.
What was it?
It was one can given to one trans activist or a comic, whatever. And it was never supposed to be a big thing. It was Bud Light made a can just for this one person this one time.
Oh, okay.
And they lost their mind.
Okay. Yeah. But they say they Pharaoh, there's a lot of other things that conservatives could be, worried about, just like the attack on museums. But they're gonna put their hat or die on this hill about Cracker Barrel. Your thoughts?
Great outrage.
Cracker Barrel has been around since 1969 in Lebanon, Tennessee. That says enough for me already. I think I've been to Cracker Barrel. I can count on one hand how many times I've been to Cracker Barrel, and it's nothing. All right, it's nothing impressive. So to me, that is a restaurant that stands out. Just like if you want to fly that Confederate flag, battle flag, it's one of those restaurants that they feel is theirs. How dare you change what our heritage is? So with that being said, I just want you guys to know out there, people that's listening, 5 years for the Confederacy, 5 years for Nazis. You keep going down this path, you ain't gonna have shit. So you might want to leave this stuff alone.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is, and that's why I say last week we had this conversation about your heritage. This guy, when you something that they enjoy, or something that I guess, what word I'm looking for, bring them
feel unified.
Yeah, make them unified like Cracker Barrel. You can't mess with the logo. Tim Dog, your boy.
Well, let me add it. Cracker. The term cracker comes from a community in Florida that white folks called themselves cracker. So they took that moniker from Florida.
Okay. I didn't know that. Learn something new every day.
The whole thing is about white fragility, and that's what it always goes down to. They can't stand to have them. They can't stand to have somebody brought up on equal footing. I mean, the dude looked like the Pepperidge Farm guy from the old commercials, and that's what gives their asses comfort. I mean, the one time we went to Cracker Barrel, it was the family. We all went. We sat there for 45 fucking minutes before the waitress even came over to the table.
Thank you.
So I mean, they're trying to change. There's a reason they're trying to change their image, and because most black people think I'm not welcome. I'm just as welcome at Cracker Barrel as I was in the 90s at Denny's. So they're trying to change.
Why you support them. I don't understand why black people even support that restaurant.
It goes, like I said, to white people wanting to feel comfortable in their either racism, their stupidity, or their combination of both. But like I said, once we even got our food, the food at the place wasn't all that great. So I don't understand. Well, I don't understand how it's been in business this long.
I'm not walking into a place called Cracker Barrel. It's not for me.
Well, Tim Dog, it's not only our Caucasian brothers that love Cracker Barrel. This, I don't know if he's Caucasian. I don't know what the fuck he is. This brother from the state of South Carolina, Senator Gums, he say that, hey man, why they changing it? Why they changing it, man? I basically got engaged in the parking lot of Cracker Barrel.
Of course you did. That's where you met. That's where you paid for your wife.
So Tim Dog, man, your thoughts on the logo? And he also said he worked at Cracker Barrel in Florida.
Sure he did. Sure he did. Sure he did.
Dog, your thoughts, man?
Oh my goodness, they weren't this upset when what was that? Something Mills, Painters Mills took the Aunt Jemima off the syrup. Miss Butterworth.
General Mills.
General Mills.
General Mills. Thank you. And once again, like Matt Professor said, this is just something that patronizes their idiocracy of dominant race, whereas they have to be on top because they know that they stole to get there. So once again, this is just their attempt to hold on to the little bit of racism in society that they can. And if Felon 47 was in there, this would not have been a big issue. This would have been like, oh, well, so what? Because Cracker Barrel's still going to make their money, regardless if you have a white man on a barrel or a monkey in a tub. It's just Cracker Barrel. So
I got you. I'm coming back to you, Conspiracy Brothers. And me and you got into it last week, so I'm trying to stay calm. I want to hear what you got to say this week. Why do they want this logo and the history of the logo to stay, but want others to change to fit their narrative?
especially in history in the museums.
It's all a lie. Their history, most of their history is a lie. Most of our history is a lie. And to me, again, they placating on people's obsession with color. That's all this shit is, man. That's all it is. A constant battle between color. Which that shit don't even matter at the end of the day when shit boils down to it. Your soul ain't got no color. So once you die, that shit don't even matter. But they understand that people are so sensitive about that shit because people are so sensitive about it because they made people sensitive about it. If they wouldn't have made color an issue, people wouldn't have an issue with it. But they've made that shit an issue, and now people are sensitive, not understanding that shit's been placed there to keep people separated and keep people divided. And that's all it's ever gonna be, and that's all it ever is. And until people get past that shit, this Cracker Barrel shit, removing history, all that shit is gonna be the same history repeating itself over and over, which is insanity. Same history keeps repeating itself.
I like
history.
that, boy, conspiracy brother. But you say something with some common sense today because I was going.
But I have a question.
Hold on, Tim Dog. You had to say something stupid today. I was coming down to Orlando to fuck you up. I'm gonna let you do that right now.
My ancestors would have stopped you. They would have stopped you on the road. No worries.
Hey, let me ask you a question though. Who is they?
I think he's just talking about the people.
What people? That's what I'm saying.
People who control everything.
Yeah, people in general. I can understand.
People will never know about.
Yeah, I can understand the point that he's trying to make.
Yeah, we always say there's a high table we don't know about.
Yeah,
I believe that's causing this nonsense that's going on. You guys remember back before the election, I said they had made that movie, The Civil War, based in Netflix, based off of what we might experience. And I said that. I said, y'all better pay attention to that movie. This is exactly what it's starting to look like.
Yeah, and Juan said history does not repeat itself. We want to know why. Why, Juan? Why, Juan? Waiting on you. You hear a knock at the door. That's ICE. I don't call them on your ass.
Hey, I told Juan about.
He said, "I would be a proud slave."
I'm about to kick you in your neck when I see your ass.
What the hell?
You be in that damn field, Juan. Don't get it twisted. But
hey, remember, I told you they named blacks, they named slaves by where they're supposed to go. If you're supposed to be in the field, your last name was Fields. You're supposed to be in the mill, your last name was fucking Mills. You know that shit.
Yeah, I got Chambers. But back first, I'm gonna get back in, man. And like I say though, why do they're obsessed with keeping the logo in the history of the logo, just like with the Confederate flag, but yet they want to change everybody else's history to fit their narrative. Your thoughts?
Well, it goes to their like I said earlier, their fragility. They have to be always told that they're great people. They're everything they've created, everything they've touched, wherever they lay their shadow is a great thing for the world. When if you look at their history, they're nothing but colonizers. They shit on everything they take. I mean, look at Portugal and Africa, or the Portuguese in Africa. Look at the British royalty and India, or anywhere else for that matter.
Australia.
Australia was their prison colony. So I'll look at that a little bit different. I'll look at that a little bit differently. But I mean, and look at America. They had us reading a Bible that said it was our privilege to be slaves to them, and they took out all the parts where the slaves were all freed. So, I mean, they rebelled, right? Mm-hmm. They only believe that their history is worth saving, worth living, worth looking at, because again, they think they've done everything. It's like this young Asian lady on whose Instagram channel I forget. She tells you how a black man created the first 1G radio that makes your cell phones possible.
Yeah.
Another black man made the microphone that's in every cell phone, or the design that's in every cell phone. So, I mean, but they'll sit there and tell you they created the shit because they stole the patents for it. That is what they do. They're like fucking locusts and roaches. They just take wherever they go and leave carnage wherever they leave. I mean, it like I said, and their fragility with, especially when it comes to their symbols are more important to them than their own history, because their symbols can tell them, hey, see, we were good at something, we did this was good for us. We didn't destroy it. This didn't destroy it. This symbol, like they'll say about the Confederate battle flag, that symbol didn't destroy anything. Yeah, but you want to keep on that, you want to keep it on, and you want to keep it on you and wrapped around you, because it makes you comfortable in your stupidity and your ignorance. They like, it's what I've said before, and I've said it on this podcast multiple times. White people, especially here in America, don't like their evils being brought up. They hate that. They can't stand seeing their evils, which is why in the segment we'll do later on, you know what they're trying to do with the museums.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. But like you say, man, somebody else has something to say. I use this video in some of my stuff that I did on this subject. He has something to say, and he's not happy that they mess with Cracker Barrel logo as well.
Hello, I'm the Cracker from Cracker Barrel, and y'all know I sat on that damn logo for 48 damn years, longer than a snake deep throating the giraffe neck. Then overnight, you got this diverse, evil, ignorant, or DEI group of people taking over our marketing, talking about we need a rebrand. Then poof, I'm going faster than a black man driving through Alabama. How you gonna rebrand without debrand? I'm the goddamn reason people come to Cracker Barrel. How you gonna have a place called Cracker Barrel without a cracker leaning on a barrel? I mean, what's next, America? A black female Popeyes manager that doesn't fight her customers. Cracker Barrel needs a cracker and a barrel. And I'm the coldest cracker son of a bitch to ever lean on a barrel this side of a Mississippi. Hell, maybe both sides. But don't you go worry about your old boy Cracker. I got a little nest egg and I'll find something to lean on, I always have. But it's a damn shame what y'all done let happen to old Barrel. Who the hell out here finna hire me, bro? Nobody hiring barrels. I might as well just jump in the fucking fireplace, bro.
Oh shit, this nigga dead.
Ace Bane is a fucking fool, man. He's his own goddamn show.
Tim Dog, what do you think of the message, man?
This nigga dead.
48 years.
48 years I've been on that barrel. Y'all got me fuck up my shit.
It just
first of all, the black woman in Popeyes, this is a white dude started the restaurant, so I think that's a pretty good representation. I mean,
no. He said without fighting the customer.
Without fighting, that's what he said. Yeah, that's like a black female manager at Popeyes that don't fight the customers. Go ahead.
Oh man, this satire is funny as hell. But when you think about it, you know, it's the same thing that happened to us when it comes to the DEI situation. Somebody who decided that you know, we don't need diversity and we're gonna get rid of everything. So, you know, to me, that's what the commercial is saying to me. You know, it's ironic how some people think that their ideology is more important than someone else's, and then when it happens to them, then all of a sudden there's a problem. That's what it seems like to me now is a problem, because they removing the Cracker Barrel and they blame it on DEI. No, you can't do that. Blame it on the company. That's what they wanted to do, so they did it.
And Farrell, man, what you think of the message from the logo? And I agree with Tim Dawes say they're trying to streamline to try to get more people to come to their restaurant. Your thoughts?
I don't care about that restaurant. And I told y'all, I'm not going there. I don't care how they rebrand it, rename it, whatever they do to it. I'm not walking in there. So with that being said, it's almost kind of like with them going to Egypt and shooting the nose off the Sphinx. You know, that's what they like to do, is they want to claim stuff. Their history is not good. European history is not a good history. They go to other people's countries and they realize, oh shit, people have been living better than us for thousands of years. You know, the plague come from Europe. bad hygiene. Beer comes from Europe because they had no water to drink. So
I heard that you say something about the plague. Somebody came down with the plague in California. I heard
that probably was in Europe. I don't know.
I don't know if it was in Europe or not, but go ahead, man. You say that. When you say that, shit, man, I saw that
no
shit
matter
today.
what, about the DI, it was a white woman that said that they're making changes, which was the number one DI hires are white females. Whatever you want to call it. Once again, Cracker Barrel seemed to be the restaurant of symbolism, like the Mad Professor says, that they want to keep a hold of something that's their own, which, like I said, the restaurant was never meant to be a symbol. It was just meant for you to go feed your face. Unfortunately, only certain people went to that restaurant.
Yeah, I got you.
Because of the name.
I got you, Matt Professor. I'm gonna get you. What you think of the logo and his comments? And like I said, yeah, California resident test positive for the plague after camping.
What kind of plague though?
The plague. What you
there's different types of plagues. You got bubonic plague. You got
they talking about the one that was in. Hold on. Go ahead, Matt Professor. I'm gonna look it up right now. Go ahead, Matt Professor. What do you think what the logo had to say, man?
I don't care about what his white ass had to say. I truly don't. I mean, I don't like his restaurant. I don't care how more comfortable they make the seats. I don't care how much they're gonna light up the place. Are they gonna make the food any better? Probably not.
Hire more blacks than Mexicans.
I mean, the only thing I want to go to Cracker Barrel for is because that's why I hear you can get the old Altoid tangerines from.
Yeah, order that shit through Amazon. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm trying to figure out if it's the same one. But let's not digress. Let's not sidetrack.
Black people, stop trying to fit in with everywhere these restaurants. We don't always need to go to these restaurants because white folks go there. Stop taking your dumb ass to these restaurants.
Yeah, but what do you think of the logo, the comedy skit there on Conspiracy Brother?
Shit gotta die. His ass dead, and it's a sign of the times are changing.
Yeah,
they don't want to be branded as a white folks only restaurant. They want to be something different.
Yeah,
so times are changing, and this is a sign of evolution on their part, not wanting that moniker anymore. It's still gonna be Cracker Barrel. I done been to Cracker Barrel quite a few times. I ain't never had no issues.
Yeah,
the food, it's like food at most restaurants. You depending upon who back there cooking, ain't no telling what you're gonna get. So it ain't gonna stop me from going. Shit, I'm still gonna go and eat.
Yeah, I've been there.
Don't bother me
none,
because again,
don't get me wrong. Now they make a good.
Shit don't bother me.
Pancakes now. I ain't gonna lie about that. They make a good pancake. But fellas,
make a good pancake.
That motherfucker was
I can't eat the pancakes no more because
I got
whatever. That motherfucker was 60 when they hired him. He been there for 45 years. Yeah, it's about time to go.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Man.
Let me get a retirement check, man. Move on. Roll that barrel into the
You're right.
Let him throw away.
He's about 100-some years old. It's time to go.
There you go.
Yeah, but I think y'all covered everything that basically how I feel about the situation as well. It's a time for change, but you do want to try to keep some of your history. But if some of your history is not representative of today's time, hey, maybe it needs to change.